Hi, my name is Richard Dunn, and this is my presentation on HTML5 tags for CIT261 at BYU, Idaho. The guidelines of this assignment were we were going to explore HTML5 tags for video, audio, and drawing with Canvas. So let's just go ahead and take a few minutes and go over those. What you're seeing here is my HTML for just kind of a trial site that I've put together. Don't mind my cursor, it has a mind of its own. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about video. So right here, I've got embedded a video. It's called movie.mp4. It's just a local file on my hard drive. If we wanted to do something from an actual website, we would put the whole HTML link in here. Or if we had it just on our server where we're hosting our website, we could just link it like I've done here. Actually, I apologize. Let's back up a little bit. So first thing we're going to do when we put in our video tag is our width and the height of the video. The default in the example that I found had it at 320 by 240, which I thought was a little small. So I stretched it out to 640 by 480. You've also got these tags autoplay and controls. So what these do with the autoplay and the controls, the autoplay, I mean, really just does exactly what it says on the can. It starts it up right when you load the site. So you'll see that in a few minutes when I go over to my site. Controls just make sure that we actually have controls on the actual video. Otherwise, it's just going to run and you won't be able to do anything with it. The source, you've got MP4. We also have a backup source, which is movie.ogg. And if the browser does not support the video tag, which some browsers do not, then it will show this error message. Now, funny story about this. I typically use Chrome for all of my browsing. For some reason, my installation of Chrome will not show audio or will not play audio when I show a video. So I will be demonstrating this today with Microsoft Edge. But earlier in my building, I was using an MKV file because it was what I had handy. And Microsoft Edge won't support MKV. So I was getting this, your browser does not support the video tag. So let's go ahead and flip over to Microsoft Edge. As you can see, I borrowed a video from Tasty with the hands making breakfast. I'm going to refresh this just so you can see that it does autoplay. And we've got audio because it's Microsoft Edge. We're going to go ahead and pause that so we don't get sued by the Tasty people. But this is really simple. We put in our source, we give it a size, we tell it if we want it to autoplay. If I go in here and take out autoplay and save and reload, then it'll just, when I reload, it just won't play. It'll just, have to control it there. If I go in and take out controls as well, save and reload, well, then I just have a embedded video that I can't really do much with. But if I put autoplay back in, and reload, it's going to play, and now I can't stop it. So that was a mistake. We probably shouldn't have done that. Let's listen to this groovy music for a minute while I put controls back in. And we'll pause it. All right. So I'll be waiting to hear from Tasty's lawyers later on today, but I bought the one top, darn it, so they owe me. All right, let's move on to our next one, which is audio. So supported formats for audio are MP3, WAV, and .ogg. I've never actually used an OGG file before. I don't even really know what that purpose of that is. Apparently, it's both audio and video because it's available for both of these embeds. Let's look at the code. So this is actually a lot like doing it with video. We have audio controls. We could do audio autoplay. I'm not going to because I don't want to keep doing that. We have the source, OGG or MP3. It's going to go to whatever it can play first. And if it can't play one, it'll just move right on to the next one. And if it can't play any of them, it'll show the browser does not support the audio element. And this just kind of works. So that's music from one of my favorite video games, Undertale. So I'm going to pause it now so that I don't get sued by Toby Fox either. Audio is really, really easy. I could have it autoplay. I could have it with no controls. I'm really tempted to try that right now just to see see what it would look like, because I didn't actually play with that earlier. Let's autoplay and let's cut out controls so that I can quickly add it back in when I replay. Oh. And now I've got nothing. I've just got audio playing in the background of my site, so that's cool. I'm sorry, YouTube. Please don't mute me. Let's refresh it and pause both of those. So that's how the audio tag works. I probably should have used like royalty-free stuff for all of this. I didn't really think about it. So that's audio and video. Let's move on to our last thing, which is Canvas, which is a way of drawing on a website, just kind of almost freehand. So we have the Canvas ID, and I've called it My Canvas. And by default, a canvas is an empty shape with no border or content, and you put it in a width or a height. So really, you're going to make a square or rectangle. I have made a rectangle that is 200 pixels wide and 100 pixels high, and that's going to be our canvas for all of these examples. Like I said, by default, it's just an empty shape with no border or content. So let's go ahead and draw a line. Here we're going to run a script, which is going to get the element. I've made a new canvas for it. When I did this earlier, I put them all on the same canvas, and that was a mess. But if you wanted to do it that way, if you really wanted to code it, you could draw a really spectacular picture. I actually saw on the W3 schools, which is where I got a lot of the information for this presentation, somebody had put all of the text or all of the code in to do a replica of that famous painting of the Scream with Canvas, which I find incredibly impressive, and I don't have the patience for. So we're going to get our context. We're going to get a line. We're going to move to 200, 100, and then line to 50.5 and put in a stroke. And that is going to draw this wonderful line that I've drawn here. Let's talk about a circle. Same thing. We're going to get it. We're going to put it in a 2D context. We're going to begin a path, and we're going to arc it kind of along this route. Which, if I were better at math, I'd be able to explain why this is what it is, but I'm not. But it's going to trace this path, and it's going to draw a stroke, and it's going to do a circle. Math was a long time ago. Let's do some text. So let's get a context. Let's get a ctx.font is 30 pixel Arial, and we're going to fill the text with hello humans, and there's our text. Really easy. And finally, we're going to create a gradient. We're going to use ctx.createLinearGradient. We're going to fill it from 0, 0 to 200, 0, which is the dimensions of my canvas. We're going to have it start with blue and go to green. And we're going to fill the rectangle, moving along that gradient path. And there is our wonderful gradient that I've created. So HTML5 tags are really, really easy. I personally will admit I don't see a lot of point to Canvas, particularly when you could just put images onto it. I think it's cool that it's there, but I don't see a practical usage for it. I'm sure I will eventually, but just kind of off of this basic research, I'm not seeing it. But anyway, these are HTML5 tags. Again, my name is Richard Dunn. Thank you very much for listening.